and welcome to Film Peaks, where we investigate where film and TV shows peak or valley. I've been working on a new feature for the app lately, so I haven't had a lot of time to make it to the theater, so today I think we would go with one of my favorites. Plus it's daylight savings time and I'm all kinds of messed up. And it's in the ranks for one of the most quotable films of all time. They just don't make comedies like this anymore, although with the release of the Naked Gun reboot and Fuck 'em All, I do have some hope that goofy comedy is on the rise again. Now listen, if you are not in the mood for goofy or wacky comedy, this film probably isn't for you. Also, I am a little biased here given the time of when I saw this movie. I was probably in like junior high, and I do own it on DVD. Anyway, it's not that it can't be made today, it's just it would be way cheaper and easier with the CGI and AI that is available today. If you were to go onto any social media platform right now, I guarantee that you would eventually hit a post that features a real actor put into a fake scene. For example, just recently I was scrolling through and I saw a post where they put Jamie Lannister and Kaylee Spaney into one of the scenes of The Last of Us to replace Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. This movie was way ahead of that stuff by a long shot. I see it grouped with things such as Kung Fu Hustle, but I think really the biggest comparison I can draw here is MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, one of the best shows that was on TV. If you were to Google similar titles to this movie, you'll see some interesting results. Yes, today we are talking about 2002's Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. A rough around the edges martial artist seeks revenge for his parents' death. This is such a condensed explanation as to what the movie actually is, because if you were to only go off of that log line, you would be surprised. Now, I've done some reviews where I've given a play-by-play throughout the movie, such as Turbulence, The Controller, The Bothersome Man, things like that. I'm not going to do that here because I think this movie is genuinely worth watching still to this day. But I will add a riff section at the end that I will show my score and I'll give some thoughts. Steve Oedekerk, not to be confused with Bob Odenkirk, is the writer, director, and main actor as the chosen one. He's a man of many talents, and he did get pretty fit for this movie. And he does have some absolute bangers under his belt, such as being the director for Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, as well as writing credits for Bruce Almighty, Evan Almighty, and Patch Adams. He's worked with some absolute legends, so that should give you a little bit of an idea of his comedic background. However, he has not acted in a movie since Kung Pao. In one of the opening title sequences, you'll see an ad for O Entertainment as well, Oedekerk Entertainment, which is his animation studio, which has worked on titles such as Jimmy Neutron. The actors from the archived footage are absolute legends as well. Master Payne, Wimplo, Master Tang, all of the fighters featured in this movie all have like a triple-digit number of credits to their names. So, you know, they were highly influential over the martial arts film scene. Even Ling, the curly-cued girl, has like 40 or so credits to her name. So it's interesting to see these, you know, legends of martial arts in this comedic context here. There's a disclaimer at the beginning as well that tells you that the film takes footage from Tiger and Crane Fists from 1976. They have literally taken an old kung fu film and dubbed over it while adding some extra content into existing scenes, as well as adding some new ones. When is the last time you have heard or seen of something like this being released? Because I cannot name any. You'll be able to tell which scenes or content that they have added. I mean, it's from 2002, some of the CGI is dated, but you can catch the original actor's face sometimes in some of the scenes. And actually in the end credits, you know, through the bloopers and end scenes and whatnot, they do show you a demo of what some of those scenes look like that they filmed to insert Steve into these existing scenes. And so you get to see these comparisons of what the original scene looked like compared to how Steve altered it. Again, Steve literally scanned himself into some of these existing scenes, and some of the stuff that they added is just insane. Even the dog featured in the film, they dubbed over, so after it barks, there's a little bit delay until you actually hear it. The opening scene even starts off as a traditional kung fu film until we get our first glimpse of Master Payne, or more commonly known as Betty. After he says his first line, "Open the mouth," the film just instantly becomes unhinged and does not stop. It is at this point you know what you're getting into. Like, bad guys come and they're coming to start trouble and they're lighting buildings on fire. This is like supposed to be hundreds of years ago. They're lighting stuff on fire with torches. And in a scene, a guy's holding a torch and another guy brings a butane lighter up to light the torch so that he can toss it. So these beginning events happen, and we see the Chosen One as he travels along to find those who stole everything from him. When we hit the true opening sequence, you get the most classic 2000s opening song that you can imagine. It's just bursting with energy. It totally fits the aesthetic. More importantly, it does maintain that usual kung fu flick flow where we have the training scenes where, different martial artists size each other up. The big bad is introduced, this big ominous scene where he comes in and everybody's kind of afraid of him. And then the protagonist has to try to fight the big bad, but he's too weak at this point. He still needs to level up. We also get to see that the big bad has some kind of never before seen or hidden technique. In this case, Betty has metal tabs, 2 metal tabs on his chest that give him some kind of special power. And we got the level up scenes where the protagonist is training so that he can overcome this hidden technique or power. And the bad guy even has a unique, sick weapon. In this case, it's 2 iron claws that he swings on a chain. And of course, the final showdown. And you hear about movies like Chicks with 3 boobs. Well, this one has a girl named Woe who has 1 boob. Also, this came out when Radio Shack was still a thing. And with that, The Matrix was still popular at this time. So you even get that bullet time, slow down, camera pan scene included in this film in the most ridiculous way. And there's actually another scene in here that's obviously a Lion King parody. The Chosen One is talking to Mushu Fasa in the sky at night. And funnily enough, this is actually how I got the idea to film the original Film Peaks trailer, if you will, where there's a bright light shining down on me. The scene that he filmed for this movie, he was literally just standing in his backyard with a bright lamp in his face to look like he was talking to Mushu Fasa in the sky. So I really enjoy seeing creative solutions to try to overcome these budget constraints. And even though this movie, it's under 90 minutes, I think it's an hour and 29, but he included one of the most hilarious intermission scenes that I've seen in a movie, and I still quote it to this day. And you can tell some things have not changed in the past 25 years with how France is still the butt of jokes. If there is one major thing I have to knock this movie for, however, it is the inclusion of, towards the end, a trailer for a part 2. The setup for the second movie is so incredible that as a kid, I would try to search, every few months to see if there's any news on the next movie. This was during a time where, you would find things out in like internet forums. So I ended up checking for like a number of years to see if the second film was ever coming, especially because it was the time of forums. There was all kinds of speculation. So, people were spouting off all kinds of nonsense. So I think at this point, the project, much like my hope, is dead. But if I keep talking about this movie, I am going to end up in spoiler territory. So I think I'm going to call it here. I'm about to open the riff section. So if this is your jumping off point, Thank you so much for making it this far. Leave your own review in the Film Peaks app. It's free and it's on iOS and Android. But thank you again. We're about to move on. All right, we've made it to the riff section. I'm about to show my score up here. This is your last chance to avoid spoilers. Here we go. So this is what I think of the film. I definitely am biased here given the time frame that I saw this movie in my life. Like I said, I was, probably junior high or something. And this definitely is one of the most quotable movies ever made. It's up there with the likes of Super Troopers, Superbad, Step Brothers, and really just that golden age of comedy that, I hope comes back. I just wanted to list some of my favorite parts of this movie. So like right off the bat, after the Chosen One fights Master Pain as a baby, he escapes by rolling down a hill, and it shows this doll rolling down the hill for like a minute, and it finally stops and a woman picks him up, and then she just rolls him down the hill again.
So cute. Bye-bye.
And like it was at that point, like I probably never laughed so hard in a movie theater since. And then Master Tang is kind of giving his intro to the Chosen One, and when the guy goes, "It will be significant."
It will be significant.
And of course, we can't forget the Ling's wee wee wee. If people are somehow being directed around me, without fail, I still think of the scene where the bad guys are looking for the Chosen One, and they're like,
"You go that way, I'll go home."
and it was from this movie that I learned the difference between an owl and a bungee cord.
What do you get when you cross an owl with a bungee cord? My ass.
And the intermission scene when Wimplo mentions the milk duds.
My nipples look like milk duds.
And also, another time without fail, anytime nuts are involved in any sort of food, I always think of the scene where he's buying peanuts in the town and the guy's like,
That's a lot of nuts!
Even the song from Master Tang as he's walking through the grass before he gets assassinated. And when Betty goes to talk to the evil council and it's all echoey in the chamber and he's like, "Now batting, Mike Piazza." And the list goes on.
Chosen One! I'm coming! Chosen One! I'm coming!
I mean, there's just so many incredible scenes. There's so many little details that you pick up. Like there was a little alien creature in one scene that's just kind of like, huh, and then gets out of scene and it's never mentioned or seen again. And so just like little things like that sprinkled throughout the movie just bring out a lot of joy. So tell me, what do you think? Is it indeed one of the most quotable movies of all time? What other movies do you find quotable? Again, check out the Film Peaks app. It's on iOS, it's on Android, it's free. Let's get a thing going. I need to hear what you guys would like added to the app. It's just me working on it so we can make changes as we go. Again, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the top.